Now we know the meeting is getting underway from the 7th to the 8th in Vatican. Could you please update us or let us know what is the general backdrop of this summit and what is the significance of this summit for the organ transplant aspect?
Liu Xin,
yes.
This is the first time for China represent in the world stage, indicating China step up the world stage of organ transplantation to let China's voice to be heard in the world. Also introduce the China model to the world in terms of organ donation and transplantations.
Very interesting. I understand that both of you are very important members of this Chinese delegation. So what are the Chinese voices that you're bringing to this summit? And what is the Chinese model that you are trying to disseminate to your international counterparts?
Well, I think first I'm in this meeting as the counselor of the DICG, the Declaration of Istanbul Custodian Group, and Professor Huang. He joined this meeting as the chairman of the China National Organ Donation and Transplantation Committee. So both of us representing China to have the detailed discussion with leaders of other countries regarding the organ trafficking and transplant tourism, because it's really tied to the practice of organ donation and transplantation of different countries. And China has been working really hard to develop our own model during the last 12 years. Yes.
Yes, China officially stopped using organs from executed prisoners from the beginning of 2015, which was a very important development in China's organ transplantation practice. What is the latest in that regard?
China totally ban the organs from the executed prisoners. Community-based organ donation has become the only legitimate source for organ transplantations. This is the main reason why we invited Pope Francis to attend this very important event as representatives of the Chinese government.
I understand. So right now, only voluntarily donated organs can be used in organ transplantation in China, and that is according to the law here. Now, statistics have shown that China has a big gap between the supply and the demand of transplantable organs. For instance, I understand one set of statistics is that the ratio between the organs that are available and the patients who are waiting for these organs is 1 to 30. What are the main reasons that people are reluctant? What are the main reasons behind such a huge imbalance between supply and demand?
The drawback of the organ donation is not the cultural reason for the people. It's the backdrop of our administrative systems. Probably, and Dr. Huang can mention the figures of our Pope.
Yeah. Yes, I think that's the very common misunderstanding that the Chinese people are reluctant to donate organs. But we never ask our people to donate organs, and we never have the system to allow the people to express their wish and donate organs when they are in the condition of the organ donation. So there are several surveys in Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou all shows very high percentage, from more than 70 to 90% of people supporting the organ donation. And also the facts about organ donation numbers is that China in 2015, we have 2,766 deceased organ donors. And for last year, 2016, and we have around a 50% increase. We have more than 4,000 deceased organ donors. So the facts proved is not Chinese people not supporting organ donation, and the Chinese culture is supporting the organ donation. And also the shortage of organ supply is not unique to China, it's a worldwide problem.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. Dr. Wang Haibo, let me ask you this question now. There have been media reports from the Western media outlets saying that China used to harvest organs from living people. Is that the truth?
Of course, the wide accusation is not true and has never been the truth.
They also always have some hostile force in the world. They are not focused on our organ transplantation reform. They are ignore the progress we have been made. They are always focused on the distorted story in the history. They want to tarnish the political image of our countries. They are not happy with the China rise. So that's the main reasons.
I would like to ask you another question, which is also high on the agenda of the summit, which has to do with the foreign tourists supposedly traveling to China for organ transplantation. Is this true? Is this really happening? And if so, is the government aware of it, and what is being done to that?
There are two aspects. One is I just mentioned in the years of 2009. The former Ministry of Health already gave the notice to all the transplantation hospitals in China to prohibit the organ tourism. However, if some foreigner working or traveling in China, if some emergent case should have a humanitarian reason, so sometimes, occasionally, with the permission of the Ministry of Health, we can do very, very few patients organ transplantations for humanitarian reasons.
And China have the state council level legislation, have the ministry level regulations, and the criminal law amendment in banning and penalizing the organ trafficking. The former Ministry of Health jointly formed the task force with the legal enforcement authority, the Ministry of Public Security, in combating the organ trafficking. Since 2007, there were 174 people, including 50 medical personnel involved in the organ trading, has been convicted and imprisoned. And if you look at the media report, you can see the existing space of the organ trading has been surpassed. And we have seen the violation of the regulations at the beginning happening in the licensed transplant hospitals, and then moved to the non-licensed transplant hospitals, and then moved to the small medical clinic in the remote regions, and then to non-medical facilities. So this is reflecting the strength of the legal enforcement, and it also reflecting recognition of the organ-related crime from the government, from the media, from public. So China have the clear legal framework and working mechanism in fighting the organ trafficking. But we have laws, and then we have lawbreakers, the same as the rest of the world. So that's one of the reasons we are here to working in collaboration with the international society in this Pontifical Academy Summit to find out the solution how to solve this so-called the modern form of the new slavery.
Finally, I would really ask Dr. Wang Haibo to talk a bit about the function and how quotas function. This is a very interesting system, but what measures are there to ensure the fairness and transparency of the distribution of organs in China?
quotas is a national organ allocation computer system, which was built up on the international consistent medical criteria for allocate organ in an automated way, only based on the medical emergency, based on the medical need of the patient. It's patient-oriented, which means the computer system executes the scientific policy of organ location and pinpoint which patient should receive the particular organs. So it's a common practice around the world, and it's also, more importantly, it's established the organ traceability, which means we can track where organ comes, where organ goes. So that's the very powerful tool for us to detect to register every legitimate organ donation, and by cross-checking with databases of our nation and internationally, we can identify the unregistered illegal organ trafficking cases.
Thank you very much.